Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of A Lot of You Have Been Asking. I feel like it is meant to be make sense for the first guest on my podcast to be the woman that gave me life. She is the original content creator. I'm the content, she's the creator. My mom, Ellen Cohen. Hi mom, welcome to the podcast.
Hi, Hayden. I forgot your name for a minute.
Yeah, you just gave me the name. Is it weird to be being interviewed by me?
Yes, very.
I mean, it's just a conversation. We have these types of conversations all the time back at home.
All day.
But this podcast is really a place where I wanted my followers to be able to get to know me more. And you gave me life. You know me better than probably anybody else on this earth.
I think so.
So I figured you would be the person to start with. The story of you literally made me in a way.
Well, and Dad.
Yeah. But you have had some heavier influence on me since we talk a lot about influencing and content. You know the business now that you work with me and on the back end of things. And for those of you that don't know, my mom now works with me, helping me in all of the administrative things, all of my crazy. She really keeps me organized because I can be forgetful. This is a crazy business that none of us really know what we're doing. So I'm glad I have you to help me.
No,
to guide me through it. And obviously we have to address the elephant in the room, which is...
Yeah, I think I need my sunglasses on.
My engagement ring, guys. Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
We're all still laughing and crying and shocked and happy. And
she had a lot to do with it, though. You helped Aaron plan everything.
well, yeah. I mean,
You knew it before I did.
I did. He came and asked for our blessing, which was very emotional.
Yeah, of course.
And first I said no. And I'm like, oh, okay, I was just kidding.
No, you never said no.
I actually did ask him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a joke.
Yeah, of course.
He was nervous. So
but before we get into like the whole working together, the whole story about how I came along, I was curious the story of you before me, because believe it or not, there was a time where I wasn't around and you were actually had a life that didn't revolve around me. So, and my siblings. So tell everyone the story of like who you were, who you are, and whatnot. Life before me.
before any of you?
Before
or
any of us. Like
before-
how did you and Dad meet? What was your...
we have a very romantic story. We met at a bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't it a club?
Yeah, called the Backside. But a lot of your friends' parents also met at the Backside.
Really?
And they're all still married, so this is a good thing.
Yeah.
We've been married for 37 years this weekend.
Yeah.
And we met on our first date. We talked about how many kids we wanted to have. We were engaged within 6 months.
That's crazy.
We had Brooke a year later,
Brooke is my oldest sister.
and then had Jordan 2 years later, then had Dylan 2 years later. And then I said to Dad, we were sitting at the 99, and I said, if I'm going to have another baby, it's going to be now. And Dad said, check, please.
Yeah, right.
And we had you.
That explains my love of quick service restaurants.
I know, we weren't at
I
Chili's,
was
though.
I was the idea in a 99. No, but like same thing, 99
I know.
Chili's. Like that's where I came to fruition, really.
Well, it wasn't actually at there.
No,
We did go home.
thank
So
Imagine. No, that
We thought
would be
about it, but
that would
no.
be a crazy story. So what were you doing when you and Dad met, like for work?
I was a director of administration for a computer reseller.
I don't even know what that means.
I
Do you?
Yeah, well, not anymore. I used to. When I was doing it, I knew what it
Yeah.
meant. Yeah, I had mostly administrative management. So I managed accounts payable, receivable, marketing.
So that's kind of why you are able to help me with all of those things now.
Maybe.
And yeah, I feel like that has given you a good,
Yeah.
because you're good with like the spreadsheets and like the
It
numbers.
was like a
and-
million years ago. It's all done very differently now.
No, I know.
Back
but
in the day, we used to write those things down.
way back when.
Yeah. And then we had kids. And then I was just in kid heaven for...
Not just. Stay-at-home
Well-
moms are the hardest working people in the world.
Yeah, I was very lucky that I could stay home. I mean, we lived in a pretty upscale town where most of the moms had to work. And luckily, Dad, and we made it work. I was able to stay home until you all got into like middle school, I think.
Yeah.
And then what did I do? I cared for older people.
You cared for our neighbor, Mrs.
I
Adams.
did for 10 years. She was 97 when she passed away. And then I had this thing about caring for elderly people, and I worked for another couple that had Alzheimer's in Medfield. And then after you all got out of college, we moved down to the South Shore.
Yeah.
Where we are now.
And then I followed you.
And then you followed me.
I couldn't stay away for too long.
And Brooke followed us.
Yeah, my sister did too.
I know.
And the boys got away from us.
They did. What were they thinking?
They ran.
Yeah.
Because they knew we would be too much trouble altogether.
Probably.
So what, did you ever think that this would be my career?
Never.
Looking back at me as a child. What was I like as a child?
First of all, I thought you were going to be a school teacher. I always thought that from when you were like an infant, because you were always telling people what to do. Well, first of all, let me back up. You didn't speak until you were almost 2.5. We thought there was something wrong
Now
with
I
you.
can't shut up.
I know what happened. We're going to blame it on. Do you remember this woman that used to come in? We had early intervention.
Ellen was her name?
Her name was Ellen,
Yeah.
And she used to come in and play with you, and I'm like, how is she teaching him how to speak?
Yeah.
But you did. You started talking, and then you never stopped after that.
I know. I haven't shut up since.
You were a good kid, though.
Was I?
Well,
a good kid, but not a good teenager.
you were actually a pretty good teenager, too. I mean, there were a couple of
There were some
incidents.
moments.
There were a couple of moments, but it could have been way worse.
Yeah. I feel like too. You and Dad, since I'm the youngest of 4. You were kind of like already gone through it with everyone else. So you kind of like let me do my own thing, which ended up being for the best at the end, I feel like.
You had some extra advantages.
Yes. I got away with more.
Always.
I was definitely more babied, but I was just because I was the baby of the family. It was by nature of living that life.
Right.
But I think too, like, talk to people about what it's like raising somebody. We're in Pride Month, which is amazing to celebrate every year.
Yes.
Even though some administrations don't want to acknowledge it.
We don't talk about them.
But now that we are in Pride Month, talk about like what is the experience like raising a gay child?
Well, it's not a gay child. It's a child. I mean, it's not. I never thought of you as, oh, here's my gay child, and here's my straight children. When you were younger, when you were a baby, you would put your blanket on your head, strings. We called it strings because it was literally strings, and you would just wear it as your hair, and it was normal. It was a normal thing. I didn't have an issue with it.
Yeah.
Other people did at times. I remember the first time. I know, in preschool. Do you remember preschool? Over on the other
Not really,
the street in our neighborhood. I think you were 4.
No, I remember like going, but I don't remember specific instances there.
I went in for a parent-teacher conference, and the teacher says to me very seriously, Hayden plays a lot with dress-up and dolls, and would you like us to steer him towards the trucks and the boy issues? And I said to her, if you steer him towards anything, I will steer him out of here.
Good.
And that was it. And that was the last time that she had any issues with
that. I mean, I've always leaned towards playing with girls in general.
Yes.
I grew up playing with Brooks Barbies and with Polly Pockets, and it was never like...
You were always the Pink Power Ranger. You were...
Kimberly.
When they were doing wrestling, when the boys were wrestling, you were Trish Stratus, and you were Lita. I mean, you were all those people. But that was... we could see that you weren't making a choice to do that. You were innately thinking like that.
Yeah.
So, when you were young, like 4th and 5th grade, I thought, he's gay or he's going to be trans. And I kind of prayed for gay at that point because I just know that trans would be a harder life for you.
Yeah.
Not that gay hasn't had its challenges as well. But we just knew. We always knew.
Yeah.
You thought like your first thought was female. I mean, you liked pink. You wore Brooks leotard.
Yeah,
I didn't
that's not
put it
always
on
the
you.
case for all gay people.
No, it isn't.
No,
it isn't. But, we could that's where your comfort was. That's where you were comfortable. And it took some wrangling to make other people understand that was okay.
Yeah.
Like I remember, aunts and uncles asking, "Can we give him a Barbie doll for a Christmas present?" I'm like, "Yes.
Yeah.
Give him whatever he wants."
Totally. And I remember that. Like, I remember
you?
getting gifts, like birthday presents and whatnot, were more catered to me, which
Yeah.
I liked, obviously, because it was
I
things I
know.
was interested in.
I know.
But it's harder for other people to swallow that pill than for...
It was. And
Yeah.
it was harder as you got your friend group. Your friend group was always girls. And then the sleepovers started.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, here's 10 girls. Are we going to let this boy sleep over? And I remember one mom, who I love, said, hell yeah. He's part of the group. He sleep over. And all the other moms just went along with that.
Totally.
Once she did.
Yeah.
You were girl group approved.
No, I know. I think too, like, a lot of people now try to put children, I feel like, in a box very early.
Yep.
They don't let them like explore who they are. They try to steer them in a certain direction, whether it be forcing them to play a sport or, forcing them to, I mean, nowadays, like children's books are banned for if they say X, Y, Z certain things. But even back in like the 90s when I was born, it was still a less accepting time. There weren't as many gay characters on TV or in movies.
Were there any
no,
gay characters?
Very little. Not in the shows that I was watching growing up. Nowadays there are, and like they cause uproar in their own right. But what's your advice to people today somebody that's listening that might think their child is gay, trans, just different in general?
Right.
What do you say to them?
I let them be. They are who they are. I mean, you gave birth to them, you created them, but they're their own person, and you just have to be supportive and be a soft place for them to land.
Yeah.
Be open to what they're going to tell you or what they're not going to tell you, and don't push anything.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't think we ever pushed on you. We knew you were gay before you knew you were gay.
Yeah, everybody did.
Yeah.
Everybody in the world knew I was gay before I did.
But we didn't, push you when you came out to your friends.
I came out to my friends when I was like 11.
That's early, I think.
I remember it was like in the Cape.
Yeah.
And I did it kind of similar to how I did it with you. Like I asked them a question about being gay first, and then I came out to them because I like wanted to make sure that it was like a safe space. Yeah. And I was like, okay, and I knew it would be, but it's just the hardest thing ever is to like do that, just like admit that you're different from people, like out loud. You have these thoughts about it, but admitting it out loud is different. And then when I came out to you, it was after I had a party and I was grounded. But my version of being grounded, let me just tell you, was
bad parenting.
Was my mom taking me to the Apple store to get a new phone.
Yeah,
she was like, "You need a new phone. You're grounded tonight. Let's just go out, the two of us." And I'm like, okay, like that's a great way to be grounded on a Friday night.
We went shopping and bought a new phone. And in the
changed.
car, I remember in the car.
Yeah.
You said to me.
And I just said it to you in the car. I asked you a question first.
Yeah.
There was an ad on the radio.
Yep.
About like bullying or something, and you had asked me if I was being bullied or anything, and if anything, I was the bully.
No,
I'm kidding, but still.
Yeah, you better be.
To my friends at least. And then I just came out to you, and it was always a safe space.
And what did I say to you?
Nothing's changed. I love you. You're
and
the
I
same.
said, I know.
Yeah.
I mean, I know.
Yeah.
And then I think we broached it a little bit slower with Dad.
Well, wait, I never had a coming out moment with Dad.
No.
I always assumed you had told him, which...
Well, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, we had conversations. I'm like, oh, yeah, Hayden
But the
told me
first
he was
time
gay.
Dad, we ever really talked about that with Dad was when we were visiting colleges a few years later. And he was like, there's some cute guys around here. And that was like the first time that he...
Clue in. Yeah, he knows.
Exactly. I was like, okay, like Mom told him, bitch. But like I knew you did because I knew you knew like I wasn't going to. And I came out to Brooke in between. I came out to Brooke before you, my sister.
Yeah.
And Dylan and Jordan I was in school with, so they always knew once I came out to my friends. Like they essentially knew. So I never had a big like come
now,
to Jesus.
How did they handle it in school with you? Like, I think Dylan might have had a little bit more of an issue than.
Well, yeah, because we were
Jordan
closer
did.
in age,
Just a year apart.
Yeah, so like his friends were hanging out with my friends.
Yeah.
And we were all kind of like interweaved in our groups.
Right.
And Dylan's my brother, who's 12 months and 5, like we're almost Irish twins.
Right.
So we grew up very close in age, and we're always in the same activities and stuff. He never had an issue with it.
Did he protect you?
Yeah, he was very protective.
Yeah.
And I think I loved having them as like backup if ever I needed anything. Not that anything ever came to be. I was very fortunate to grow up in a town where I was always accepted, like pretty widespreadly. Like I was very fortunate in that sense. I know that's not the case for everyone.
I know.
And some people don't even feel safe to like come out where they are.
Sad.
Yeah, it is sad. It's crazy the world we live in, that people can't just really be themselves.
It amazes me that there are still people who
think it's a choice.
Yeah, even when you're posting things and someone will come out and make a nasty comment like, there's
when they called me like a gay alcoholic or whatever.
Well, you might be an alcoholic. When they come out and say, marriage is only for a man and a woman.
Yeah.
First of all, if you think that, you're living in the wrong
You're stupid
era, and don't follow you.
Yeah,
and
that's
if
the funny
anybody who
thing.
follows you doesn't know you're gay already,
I know.
and there's something wrong with them.
That's the funny thing is like even when posting about like political things, people will be like unfollowing, and I'm like, you were clearly not reading the context clues. I'm a gay man living in Massachusetts, the most liberal state. Like you got to think like,
I know,
use critical thinking skills.
I know.
But I also think too, now with the world of social media, that adds another layer to children coming out. It also adds another layer to the media that they're consuming. Like they see, like if I had followed gay content creators when I was like younger, it would have like changed so much for me. I feel like seeing having visibility. Like now there's so many more gay characters in television shows and movies, but also online, the online community. Like I didn't have that. We had MySpace, but you were just friends with people you knew on MySpace, and we didn't have TikTok or Instagram or Facebook to connect with people that were like-minded to us.
What about in your school? Was there ever any kind of groups in school?
There were like gay straight alliances and whatnot. That like, but
I think that was just the beginning.
Yeah, that was really just the beginning of it. That was probably just in like the later years of high school.
Right.
But yeah, I think it's interesting now too. Like with social media, things are so much easier visibility-wise, but also so much harder because anybody can get behind a keyboard.
That's right.
And type and criticize and bully and do all those things.
Yeah.
What would your advice be to people who have to deal with that now?
You're
like a
cringe at the thought of that.
Yeah.
From my grandsons too.
I know.
I'm like, social media, it's wonderful. It's done wonderful things for you. I'm definitely a consumer of social media. I follow a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
But for children now, I think I'm not sure I'd let my child be on social media until they were like well into their teens, if you could help it. I mean, I don't even know if that's possible.
Yeah,
I wouldn't.
hard.
It would be way over my pay grade to try to figure that out at this point.
I know.
It's scary. It's scary for
I mean, it's
moms.
an individual choice too. Like you have to do what's right for you and your family and your child.
I know.
I mean, I don't think I'll let my children onto social media or share them on social media until.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah, until they're ready to do that. I don't know though. It's a total individual choice. It's kind of a crapshoot. You're criticized either way, so it doesn't really matter.
It's true.
Yeah. If you let your children on social media, you're a bad parent. If you don't, you're hiding them from the world and you're a bad parent. Like there's just nothing you can do about that.
I don't think there's a right answer.
No. I feel like what did you so you thought I was going to be a teacher growing up?
I did.
And now here we are all these years later. And I make funny videos on the internet.
I know.
Do you remember like how it all came to be? What was it like from your perspective? Because I remember on last week's episode, the intro episode, I talked about like how I became an influencer. Mm-hmm. You remember taking those pictures of me on the beach, like way back when.
Yeah, I remember.
You were always so supportive of it. And that's the theme, is that she's always been so supportive.
Remember one of your first deals, somebody sent you a watch. It was really ugly.
Oh, it was a wooden watch.
It was disgusting looking. But we stood you up on the porch when we were in Hull, and you're like this with the watch like this.
I know. I had no idea what to do.
I still have that picture, and like, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to be doing. But
and that was like 2017, 2018.
And it was like, oh my God, you get to keep a free watch.
I know. I was like shocked.
I was shocked.
Yeah.
I was shocked. And then the fact that it's turned into what it's turned into now.
I know.
It's
kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's really crazy.
And you've now become so well versed in it all because now you work with me.
Yes.
But even before that, you were just invested in the business of content because my full-time job, you were trying to understand what I was doing at work.
Right.
You started following influencers. You started consuming content more, Instagram, TikTok, all the things.
It took us a while to believe that you could actually make a living doing this.
Yeah.
We're like,
Let
okay.
alone make,
So he gets on the computer and he makes fun of other people doing what he's doing. Like, how do you explain that to somebody?
Yeah,
I mean, we've come up with our own way of, explaining when people ask us, what does your son do? Mm-hmm. But, yeah, it was definitely an adjustment. But I can see it. I can see why you're good at it and why people enjoy watching what you do.
Yeah.
I remember one of your first ones during the pandemic when we were watching like the unboxing thing.
Oh, unboxing Rylan.
And Brooke had just had Rylan.
Yeah.
I'm like, just go in the other room and unbox him. And
I know,
you're
that was your idea.
What? It was my idea.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what?
Honestly, all of my best ideas come from my mom.
Not the best ones. Not
No,
the
the
best
ones that go viral the most are you're always like, just do that. And I'm
Yeah.
like, okay.
And you're like, put him in a box. I'm like, put him in a box, unbox him, and talk about him. And you shut the door and you did your thing. I mean, I don't have any content. I have ideas in my head of what I think would be funny.
Yeah.
And then you came out and you said, oh, I don't know if that's going to work.
It blew up.
And it blew up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny how the things that I don't think, sometimes, I mean, we're on different pages. Sometimes I think, oh, that's not going to be funny. He's sitting on the couch pretending to be sick watching Maury Povich.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a funny video. Boom. It goes millions viral.
Yeah.
Craziness.
It's random.
It's very random.
And that's the thing I always tell aspiring content creators or
Yeah.
people that want to become an influencer or get into this business or whatnot. It's like, it's about volume of content. Like, you have to post all these things because you never know what the algorithm is going to pick up and boost and just
exactly
is going to hit the right people. You never know who someone random can share it. Like, I remember like that Jessica, like I was singing Jessica Simpson in the car one time and Jessica Simpson shared it, and then it got like millions and millions of views because she shared it because it was her music that was in the video.
Right.
So it's just completely random. Obviously there's a strategy to it that I think some people like mull over, and some people plan their content very intently.
Yeah.
We try to do that, but there's also more spur of the moment stuff that happens that.
And I think you have a wide variety of content followers. I mean, I think there are different groups of people who follow you for different reasons. Mm-hmm. And that can depend on, the engagement of what you get.
Yeah.
Depending on what you're posting. I mean, somebody who likes to follow you for your spoofs on internet people may not get your taste in music.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, I like your taste in music because...
You sounded like you were going to say something else.
I wish you listened to more current things. I mean, I listen to more current things than you do.
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
I'm very nostalgic with my music.
You certainly are.
I like the 90s and the early 2000s. That's what's coming back now, though. They're saying it's recession pop.
Okay.
That's what it's called.
Like bell bottoms?
No, bell bottoms are not coming back. Barrel jeans are disgusting.
Barrel jeans are disgusting.
Not disgusting. I mean, if it floats your boat, but like, I don't like the way they look.
It would literally float your boat.
No, it would. They would. They really would. What do you think is like the best thing about social media that you've learned through working in it now that you work with me?
Well, I am influenced by a lot of people, surprisingly. Dad's probably not so happy because Amazon pretty much comes a couple times a week. I enjoy, and I like the fact that I can select who I want to watch and who I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm following somebody for a while and their content changes or something that I really don't agree with, I don't feel like I need to comment on it. I just unfollow them. It's really simple.
You would think.
You would think. I mean, for a lot of people it is. But I enjoy it. I try to limit myself because you can go down a rabbit hole of...
There's everything crazy on the internet. Yeah.
Yes,
it's all the things you warned me about. They're coming back now.
I know. And I encourage you to use it now.
Yeah, right.
I know. Bad
Well, it's my job.
again.
It's my job now. None of it was bad parenting.
I know.
It's my job now.
Yeah.
What would you say is your least favorite thing about social media?
I am a mama bear.
Yeah, you don't like...
So if somebody makes a nasty comment about you or about somebody else I'm following who I care about, I get really upset.
Yeah.
I do.
You get frustrated when there's either bad DMs or bad comments on a post, anything like that.
I mean, and I know that there's just these sad, lonely people sitting behind their computers, like typing out things, and they don't have to face people. I get all that.
Yeah.
But just don't do that. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's an awful lot going on in the world that people really should be worried about.
I know.
Something like that. Like if you post an ad for something and, somebody makes a nasty comment about you or something, I get upset.
Yeah.
I shouldn't, but
no, you should.
Well, I guess, but I just want to punch him out.
Don't get punched out by Ellen. That's going to be
right?
the title of this podcast episode right now. What do you think of this whole podcasting thing that I'm doing? How do you feel about it? It's kind of a new space. I don't even know how I feel about it. I know.
I'm not sure either. I mean,
You're not sure either as we're sitting here?
Just up until recently, I've listened to some podcasts that you've been on, but I mean, until today, I didn't even know you could watch a podcast.
Yeah.
That's why. No, I figured it out.
Yeah.
On YouTube, on my TV, but I didn't know that was even possible. So it's a newer space for me. I don't listen to a lot of other people's podcasts. A few I do.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be fun. I mean,
I think so
you've
too.
always had the attitude that, no space is forever. So you put yourself in Instagram, you put yourself in TikTok.
Yeah.
You're on Threads, and then podcasts just seem to be like the next thing.
Yeah.
And you have a lot to talk about.
Yeah, I think.
There are a lot of people who will want to talk with you too. So.
Who knew back when I was doing speech therapy with Ellen that
I know, right?
now
I wish we could find
part
her.
of my job would be
Let's try to find her.
Her name's Ellen, and
That's all I know.
In
I don't know.
speech
Early
therapy.
intervention.
Do you know the company?
Nah, I don't know. Hayden. That's a long time ago.
I don't know. Use your noggin.
Yeah, what did I have last night for dinner? I don't even know that.
I don't know anything either. Okay, I want to do a couple rapid fire questions with you about social media, about internet culture, pop culture.
Yep.
What is your biggest social media pet peeve, or your biggest pet peeve that influencers do often? It can be anything under the sun, and you can say it.
But I'm not going to name.
Chest. No, don't name the person.
I could.
I mean, if you want to, you can really start throwing some daggers out there. But
I think somebody like going through an experience, whether it be a traumatic experience or a good experience, in full makeup, eyelashes, lipstick, the whole deal, everything.
Yeah.
And trying to look realistic and believable is hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, it is hilarious, but it is annoying.
It's really annoying.
Yeah, I get that.
You're
crying,
the
setting up of the camera.
There's no mascara coming down your face, probably because your lashes are fogged.
Or because it's water. It could be
it's not real tears.
Mascara that they're influencing people on.
I don't care. Nobody looks like that when they're crying. Sorry.
That's true. I agree with that.
And I don't
pet
think
peeve.
that they need to share when they're crying either, to be honest with you.
Well,
I mean,
no,
if you're having a bad day, I know.
Some people might say share the good, like how social media is a highlight reel. Like you should share the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yeah.
But when it's every day, it's a lot. If it's occasional.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but if it's like a big traumatic event, I suppose there are people who would you're right.
Find comfort in it.
Yeah. Yeah. Knowing that they're not alone and all that. It's just when it's staged. And when it's staged. You can tell when it's staged. And when it's real and it hits you, and I'm crying too,
you know that. I think the things that are hard to swallow are like the thinking through, because it as like helping me create content. That somebody had to get the lighting right, hook it up to their thing, their tripod, then they had to press record, then they had to get in their outfit, then they had to do
I know.
So it's just like, how authentic is it? You like authenticity. You want people to be like their truest, realest self at all times.
Yeah, I do.
So, I mean, that's what you've always encouraged in me, which is why I've always felt so comfortable with you and why I feel so comfortable working with you every day.
I don't want to see somebody prank somebody else, and that the person is the camera is right there. How could the person not see the camera?
Yeah.
I want it to be real. If I don't know. That's just me. Other people might like that kind of content. I don't know.
I think some people do,
Yeah.
which is weird to me, but that's
Yeah.
just whatever floats your boat.
Yeah.
Who is your favorite follower right now? Like, who is somebody that you love consuming their content?
Can I say a name?
Yeah, you can say their name.
Well, Krista, of course.
yeah, of
Krista
course.
Wharton and Britt. And I love Jen Reed and Maddie Nelson and Maddie's mom.
Yeah.
I just bought some shoes. Maddie's mom had the great shoes
Oh, did you?
on sale at Target for $24. They're coming today.
Influencers were influenced just like you.
I know.
People are very influenced by your style, your fashion.
That's amazing
I
to
get
me.
a lot of comments and DMs from people that are like, "Where's the Ellen shopping from?
Marshalls,
No, literally,
TJ Maxx.
it's Marshalls, TJ Maxx, Home Goods.
Nordstrom Rack sometimes.
You're the reason I'm a Maxxinista.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where we love to go there together.
Yeah.
What is one question that a lot of followers have been asking you? Since the title of this podcast is a lot of you have been asking, what's something a lot of followers have been asking you, whether it's in your DMs, whether it's in comments, whether you see comments about you?
I don't think people ask me. I mean, they want to know about you.
Well, no, they want to know about you too. I feel like what's the secret to your and Dad's relationship for 37 years?
Yeah,
Like,
or most people want to know how to get the relationship we have.
yeah, that is a big question that I get in messages or in comments on videos that we post together.
Or I hope, my son is only 10. I hope that we have that kind of relationship when, he gets older.
What's the advice you give them to foster that relationship, the one that we have? Because we do have a very close relationship.
We do. I think just be the soft place. I mean, I don't know that there's any magic to that. I mean, we're always honest with each other.
Yeah.
I can take criticism from you, and you can take it from me. I don't know. I don't know if there's any magic to that. I don't know what the answer is to that one.
Well, I think the saying like the soft place, like always just be like an open ear, non-critical. I mean, you've never criticized any choices that I've made. You'll try to guide me towards.
Well, I think that's my theory to all the kids was that I gave birth to them, and I only have them for a short period of time. And then they're going to be gone. So my job is to keep them alive, number one, which was sometimes challenging.
Yeah, I bet.
And give them what they need to move on their own. So I'm not going to always be there. I am not that helicopter mom.
Yes, you will always be there.
Well, I'm not going to always be right there. I am always there.
Yeah.
A phone call away. Sometimes a lot of phone calls from you.
Yeah.
Or Brooke. But they have to have their own wings. They've got to have. I mean, you all had jobs. You didn't have to have jobs when you were kids in high school. In Medfield, the town that we grew up in, most of the other kids didn't. But I wanted to teach you a sense of value and worth. You wanted to earn your own money, and it meant more to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Than me just handing you $20 to go up to Lourdes. You know what I'm saying? So I think that Dad and I just tried to instill all those values in you, and then hoped and prayed.
Yeah, and then let us make mistakes along the way.
Yes, you all made them.
Yeah, and we all continue to make them.
That's right. But I'm so incredibly proud of all four of you. That's my accomplishment. And when you got engaged, I'm going to get a little teary.
Oh, God, don't cry.
That was like, okay,
the icing
all
on the cake.
4 of my kids have their people. And they're all people who I know they'll spend the rest of their lives with. So, job done. I can just sit back and enjoy the grandchildren.
Well, also even if we didn't have those partners, like we were all okay on our own. Like we were all great and confident in ourselves.
But as a parent, it feels like
peace.
It feels peaceful.
Yeah.
Like if I know that if I'm not here, when I'm not here anymore, that you'll all have each other.
Yeah.
And then you all have somebody special, and that's really important.
Yeah. So that's your social media legacy. You'd say you want. Well, I like to ask people what their legacy on social media will be. That's your legacy, what you want it to be.
That's it.
Off of social media. But your social media legacy, like what do you want people to feel like when they either watch our videos together or watch, when they think of you, my mom, what do you want of them to be left with? I always say I want people to feel entertained and happy by me and just like have a positive experience with my content?
I want them to feel that I'm being genuine and authentic and that we're real people.
Yeah.
Even though we're on the computer.
Yeah. Or on the phone.
Or on the phone.
Well, I feel like that's a good place to wrap up. I feel like we talked a lot about our relationship, and obviously coming out, it being Pride Month, I feel like it's an important conversation to have. And if anyone's listening that is going through that or needs advice, feel free to always DM myself
and me.
My mom.
Please do.
She is such a good sounding board for any and everything. She's been through it all. She's the best mom. I mean, I know you guys know how I feel about her. She's honestly my lifeline. So, thank you for coming on the podcast and
Thank you for having me.
Answering all of the questions that a lot of you have been asking. And if you guys want to listen to more of the podcast, I will be back next week with another exciting guest. Not as exciting as my mom. No, I'm kidding. They're very exciting as well. And you guys can review. A lot of you have been asking on your favorite podcast app. I'll be here same time, same place next week. Thank you so much for listening. And I can't wait to connect with you guys on social media. Feel free to DM me, comment, ask any questions you want to ask.